Hello guys, it's me, welcome back. So today I'm going to talk about quadratic inequalities in Addmaths Form 4 Chapter 2 Quadratic Function. So one of the part that I'm going to cover is quadratic inequalities. What is quadratic inequalities? First thing you need to know. But before you know inequalities, you need to know quadratic equation. If the quadratic equation means that which I teach you in my previous video. The quadratic equation, the EQN is the short form. It looks like this: ax squared plus bx plus c and will be equals to 0. This is how it looks like. But if it's inequalities, instead of equals to 0, for inequalities they will be maybe more than 0, less than 0, more and equals to 0, less than equals to 0. This is what represent the inequalities, so that they're not in straight. So that's the difference. But the purpose is actually to find the value of x. That is the main thing you're doing in this quadratic equation, right? So the aim will never change one, but there's only a difference, which is the equation and the inequalities, the sign. The more than 0, less than 0, equals, more and equals, less than equals. So this kind of thing is the only difference. Otherwise they're the same. And because there's inequalities in your equation, that means the method, the way that you find the x, like how you find the x, also will be different. Like in equation, we have factorizing method, or easiest way to say is calculator. The calculator will do the work for you. That's what you learned in my previous video, right? I also have posted in my previous video. And we also talk about quadratic formula, which will be provided in your SPM formula sheet. So you don't have to memorize, but if you memorize, it's good for you. So the formula goes like this: x equals to negative b plus minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. This is the formula looks like. And also CTS, completing the square method, isn't it? Completing the square. And I do told you two conditions in this. Condition number 1, your a have to be equals to 1. Condition number 2, x plus b over 2 square minus b over 2 square plus c equals to 0. Isn't it? This is what I told you, right? If let's just say your equation looks like 2x squared plus 4x minus 2 equals to 0. How are you going to solve this through completing the square method? First thing, your a should be equals to 1. This is your ax squared plus bx plus c. Your a here is not equals to 1. Your a here is equals to 2. So you have to remove the 2. So if you remove the 2, how you remove the 2? You have to divide to everything. Because 2, you divide with 2, you will get 1. There, I got my a equals to 1. So when you divide it to everything, 2 divided by 2, x squared. And 4 divided by 2. When you divide 2, you have to divide to the entire equation. No, you can only divide to only the 2. Okay? 4 divided by 2 is 2x. Minus 2 divided by 2 is minus 1 equals to 0. Now you already make your a equals to 1. Just sub inside the equation, inside this formula, which is the second one. So just put everything inside. X, what's your b? Follow this. This is your a, which is equals to 1, and your b is equals to 2. your c is equals to 1. This is your new equation. Follow the new equation. So x plus 2 over 2 square minus 2 over 2 square minus 1, which is your c, and this will be equals to 0. Your b is equals to 2, which is this, and your c is equals to negative 1, which is this, and the remaining all I just take from the formula, which is this, and then solve this. You just need to press your calculator, this entire thing. Solve this in your calculator, find the value of x. I do explain this in my previous video. I just explain it again, just like a short recap. If you just forgot something, then you can just watch it again. You can take this time to recap. So this is how we solve using all this method: factorizing, quadratic formula, completing the square for equation. But what about inequalities? Inequalities, you can't find a perfect answer. For like just like quadratic equation, you can find a perfect answer, the x value, through these methods. But quadratic inequalities, it's already not equals to 0. It's like maybe more than 0, less than 0, or more and equals to 0, less and equals to 0. This shows that it's not a perfect equation. If not a perfect equation, then the value also shouldn't be perfect. They lies in a range. The x value cannot be that accurate. We can't find the accurate value of x. But one thing for sure that we can find through the inequalities is the range of x. We can only find the range if it's an inequalities. And how we find the range for x if they give a quadratic inequalities? Also same, there are 3 methods. So the method goes like this. First, a graph sketching method. This is the method that you will find the range of x. Maybe it can be more, or x can be less, or x can be in between of these two. The range, you only can find the range. And now we find through this graph sketching method. Next is number line method. Number line method. And lastly is table method. So there are 3 methods: graph sketching, number line, and table method to solve quadratic inequalities. And the most common and the most favorite method that used by all the students, not all, majority of students, is graph sketching method. Graph sketching is easiest method compared to number line and table, so they will use this. But can you just choose which method you want to do, like graph sketching or number line or table? The answer is can, if the question didn't mention anything. If the question mentions specifically find the range of x for this equation by using table method, then you have to use table method. By using number line method, then use number line method. By using graph sketching, then use graph sketching. You have to use what the question tell. If the question didn't tell find the range of x for this quadratic equation inequalities, then just find, you can use any method you want, whichever you prefer. But if they tell you specifically, then you have to specify to them. So I will go through all the method. So let's start with a simple example, maybe a equation. Okay, let's go. Example, I will show all these three methods. Maybe I have maybe a inequalities of x plus 3 and 2x minus 1 maybe, and this is maybe more than 0. Okay, but the question won't give you like this. They will even expand. They will give a quadratic. They will give you in the quadratic form. So it will be like 2x squared minus x plus 6x. So it will be 5x minus 3. So if let's just say I want to solve in a graph sketching method, I'll show you in graph sketching method first. Graph sketching method. I'll show you through this method how you're going to find the range. Okay, maybe I will write down the equation for you. I scared that you don't get the equation. You might confuse. So it'll be 2x squared and minus x plus 6x, so 5x and minus 3. Okay, so this will be the from the quadratic equation more than 0. You will do factorizing in your calculator and you will get this thing, right? Okay, after this is very important. How are you going to do for graph sketching? So let's just say first thing, assume that this is not equals to 0. This thing is equals to 0. Assume like this. So assume like this, x plus 3, 2x minus 1. So if it's equals to 0, what you will do? You will make equals to 0 for each bracket, right? So do the same thing. And you will go to find the value of x. So plus 3 bring to the other side will be minus 3. And 2x minus 1 equals 0, bring to the other side will be equals to 1 over 2. So this will be the x value if it's equals to 0. But now they say more than 0. So the x value should be lies somewhere in this part. Maybe it can be more than negative 3 or less than 1 over 2 or even in between. How are we going to find that? Through the graph. Okay, for this one you should know one thing for sure. Remember, it's easier to do. This part is very easy. You just need to know one thing, which I haven't taught yet, but I will talk. Is the sign important? For any of this method, either graph sketching or number line or table method, you need to look at the sign. The more and equals and less and equals. That sign is very important. Why? You can actually find the pattern of the answer. So here you go. How you find? So easy. So if let's just say you see a quadratic function where it's more and equals to 0, make sure to is 0. Okay, and then if this is your sign that you see in the equation, and then your x value 1 is more than something and x is less than something. Remember, if it's this one, then it's just this. Follow the sign that the question gives you. If let's just say they give a sign with the equal one, then you should add the equal here. Let's just say use different color. You add the equal. Follow the question. If they didn't add the equal, you don't have to add the equal. And what you put here? The roots. So let's just say for this question, the roots is -3 and 1/2. So where you want to put either -3 here or 1/2 here. Same goes to here. -3 here or 1/2 here. Which one you will put at where? So simple. You just need to look at the sign. This one is more and equal. It's like more, bigger lah. So more means it's always referring to a bigger number. This one is less, so referring to a smaller number. So when you have two numbers here, -3 and 1/2. So who is bigger number? 1/2, right? Because negative is smaller, negative numbers is smaller, okay? So bigger number put here 1/2. And the smaller number, -3, put here. This is your inequalities. You can't find the perfect answer, but you can find the range of x. This is how the range looks like. And how are you going to express this in the graph way? Very easy. So graph sketching method wise, many students prefer because you don't have to do a table, you don't have to do a number line. All you have to do is just a graph. And you don't have to be a perfect, you just need to sketch. So put the x here. And you know this is a quadratic curve, right? So this is quadratic curve. Quadratic curves will be looking like this, isn't it? Sorry, it's not a perfect curve. Either like this or like this, right? This is how a quadratic curve look like. So this one, if your a is less than 0, if your a is negative. But this one, if your a is more than 0, which is the positive. So in this case, it's 2. Your a is 2, right? So it's positive. That means your graph will look like this. And what you have to put here is the roots. So -3 put here. The smallest one put at the left, and the biggest one put at here, 1/2. And now you just need to shade. You just have to shade. Where you shade, you only can shade only at two positions. One is here. Another place is here. So either at the green part or the pink part. You cannot shade inside here on. No, cannot. Only at the green or the pink. How you want to know whether you have to shade at the green one or the pink one? It's so easy. When it is more than 0 or more and equals to 0, shade at the green color. Shade at the green color, which is here. The green color. If they say less than equals to 0, less than 0, less than equals to 0, shade at the pink color part, which is here. Easy, right? So this time they say more than 0. More than 0 means green color part. That means shade here. Something like this. And this will be your answer. After your shading, this is the answer actually. X will be less than -3 and x will be more than 1/2. If you shade in between, which is at the pink color part, and then it will be like this. Your x will be this, -3, 1/2. But this only happens when the sign is less than 0, which is this one, less than 0 or less than equals to 0. Your answer will be in this pattern. Same, smaller number put at the beginning and the bigger number put at this part. And also follow the sign. If you got this equal sign, and then you have to add an equal sign here. If no, then no. If got, then put. Just follow that. But this time your sign is more than 0, so you have to shade at the side there, and your answer will be in this pattern. So easy, right? You just need to see at the equal and more than equal to 0, the inequalities, the sign only. If it's more than 0, then 1 is, the x value will be like this: 1 is bigger than and 1 is less than. You just need that, and the part you have to put the answers, the roots. And same for less than 0 and the less than equals to 0. You just need to put in this pattern. Done. It's not so hard, right? That's why this chapter is quite easy. So this is how the graph sketching method looks like. Actually, you don't have to sketch it, so you just can erase it. And how does it look like if it's a number line method? If it's a number line method, you just need to continue from this. First thing, the word say number line. That means there's a number and there's a line. So you have to make a number. Any numbers, as long as it's a number, okay? And there must be a line. So it's actually quite the same thing. You have to need to put a line, put an X, because it's referring X, and a line, a dotted line that separates into a 3 region: region 1, region 2, and region 3. We always assume this one is less than 0, this one is more than 0, x is more than 0, and this one is in between of them. Not 0, my bad, that's for the graph. The roots, I'm talking about the roots. My bad. So the roots in this case is -3 and 1/2, correct? So x will be -3 and x will be here more than 1/2. And here's in between of -3 and 1/2. So you will separate into 3 regions and then put into these inequalities first. This is the first step you will do. Just follow the step. 1 less, 1 more, and 1 more is in between. Something similar like the graph. Over here, it's like 3 region, also somewhere here. It's like x less than -3 here, and x more than 1/2 is here, and in between here x is in between of -3 and 1/2. It's in between. If that's the answer, you should at middle, right? But you didn't, because it's more than 0. So the sign is more than 0, you should at the side. Now for number line method, it's also the same thing, but you're not drawing the graph. You're just drawing a number and the line. There's something similar that you can see. And now, after you draw the line, you have to write a number. Any number can, as long a number. What number is that last in the condition? What condition? Just see. They say x is less than -3, correct? So any number that is less than -3 can be used. Any number less than -3. Any number, let's just say -4. -4 is lesser than -3, right? Okay, take x equals to -4. It's a number. Now what do? You got your x equals to -4, right? Sub inside this function plus inequalities. So -4 plus 3. Replace your x with -4. It's a testing point. You take a number and you just sub inside. You see whether it lies in the condition or not. negative 4 plus 3, and then 2x minus 1. So 2, your x is minus 4 and minus 1. This is equals to more than 0, correct? And what are you getting? Just press in your calculator. Negative 4 plus 3, you get negative 1. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Negative 8 minus 1 is negative 9. So you're getting negative 9. So negative 9 and times with the negative 1 is positive 9, isn't it? So you get the positive answer. Here you get negative 9. Here you get negative 1. You times, and then I scared, like you don't know anything, so I'm just showing one by one. So overall will be 9. 9 is a positive answer. So positive. Put a positive sign there, that's it. And here will be x equals to less than negative 3. And it's correct because it lies in the condition. As they say, 9 is more than 0. Correct or not? 9 is more than 0. It's true. So this range is correct. Now let's check for this one. Any x value that is in between of negative 3 and 102. Choose any values. The in between of negative 3 and 102. Maybe I will choose x equals to 0. 0 is in between of negative 3 and 102, right? So let's just say x equals to 0. So let's choose 0 plus 3. 2 you times with 0 minus 1. And what are you getting? 0 plus 3 is 3. 3 and 2 times 0 is 0, 0 minus 1, 1. So negative 1. So 3 times negative 1, negative 3. And they say negative 3 is more than 0. Actually, it's wrong. Correct or not? Negative 3 is less than 0. But they say it's more than 0. So, it's wrong. We don't take this as answer. The statement that they give you is wrong. It couldn't be the answer. And your answer is negative. You have to put the sign. It's important. Why, I don't know. But the SPM syllabus they mentioned must have a sign. So you follow that. But that's not important. The statement here is important. Next, x is more than 102. Any number can maybe 1. Let's just take 1. So sub inside in the inequalities, 1 plus 3 and 2 bracket 1 minus 1 more than 0. So 1 plus 3 is 4 and 2 times 1 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1, and you're getting 4 back. So 4 is more than 0, which is correct. 4 is positive and it's more than 0. This is correct. So the statement that is correct is these two. Not the statement, sorry, the inequalities. The range. That means the answer should be x is less than negative 3 and x is more than 102. That will be your answer. This is how you do. Number line method, you take a x value, you sub inside the inequalities in the bracket, and you see whether it is more than 0 and it's correct or not. That's it. If it's correct, then that should be the answer. That's how number line method works. Oh yeah, don't forget. Here you put a number. What number is the roots? Here's negative 3. Here's 102. But this one is not so important. We don't really care about that. I think if you didn't put the negative 3 and 1/2 also, it doesn't matter. They will really check the range and then the testing point. What value you put. You have to show them the testing point. Either x equals to negative 4, x equals to 0, x equals to 1. Show them. And next is table method. Also the same thing. If table method, do table lah. The word say table. Table means do table. Let me do table first. Make sure my table look nice. Okay. What you will put here? So easy only, not so difficult. It's also kind of same. Everything is just the same thing. But I don't know why they specify into many different methods. But you know what? They're repeating the same thing. So first thing, what you put inside each column. Let me explain you. These three column, you will put the x, the ranges of x. So you only have three type of range. One is in between, one is more, and one more is more. Less, more, and in between. These three ranges only will be. And what you put inside there, the numbers, the factorizing numbers, which is the positive 3. If you take out, you will get negative 3, right? That's what you put here. And 1/2 is more, is bigger, so you put it here. And here is in between, so negative 3, 1/2. It's the same thing, right? And but one thing different, you just now for number line method, you take a test point, any number that as long as in the condition of the range. If let's just say x is less than negative 3, then you take x negative 4, x negative 5 also can, x negative 6 also can, as long as less than negative 3. Correct or not? So any number can acceptable. But this one, you're not taking any number, you're actually taking the factorized values itself. So what you do, you take back the x plus 3, 2x minus 1, put it here. X plus 3 put here, 2x minus 1 put here, and x plus 3, 2x minus 1. Yes, you take back the factorized one, put it there, each. X plus 3, 2x minus 1, and then both together. And now what you do is the same thing. It's the same thing. Any number can. But we don't care what number, as long less than negative 3. We take negative 4. So negative 4 plus 3, what are you getting? So let's just say we take negative 4. So you key in negative 4, negative 4, negative 4, negative 4. What is the value doesn't matter. You just need to know whether it's positive or negative number. That's it. So negative 4, you plus 3, you get negative number, right? So put a negative. So 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. You minus 1 is negative 9. Put a negative. And now this thing you don't have to press in your calculator. You see negative, negative. Correct or not? So negative here, negative here. You times two negative together, right? So negative times negative, positive. Yes, you just because the number is not important. You just need to know the sign, either it's negative sign or positive sign. That's the important part. Repeat the same thing for this one. Any number that lies in between of negative 3 and 1 over 2. Maybe 0 can. Negative 2 also can. So you take 0, 0 is easy. So you put 0, 0, 0, 0. All your x replace with 0. 0 plus 3 is positive. 0, 2 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 1, negative. So plus minus, you times together, it will be minus. X is more than 1 over 2. So if x is more than 1 over 2, maybe 1 or 2. Let's just say take 2 lah. We take 2. Okay. So all the x here replace with 2. So 2 plus 3, 5. 5 is a positive number. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. 3 is a positive number. Positive, positive, you will get positive. And there you go. You're done. You need to take positive values. So this 2 is the positive, right? So take this 2. So the range is x is less than negative 3 and x is more than 1 over 2. Ta-da! Done. So no matter which method you use, all three methods, you will get the same answer. So I've done explaining the graph sketching, number line, table method for the same equation. If you realize everything is the same, right? You just need to take one point and just substitute inside the factorizing the inequalities and just see whether it's positive or negative number. And the sign, either more than 0 or less than 0 is important. If more and equals to 0, and then the range is always fixed one, you know, your x is more than and your x is less than. If less than 0 or less than equals to 0, the range of x is in between of two roots. That's how it works. Easy, right? So we try to do a few questions and then yeah, we are done with inequalities. So there are 4 questions I prepare, but of course I'm not going to do all the methods. I'm just prepare a few methods for each question. So x squared plus 7x more than 8. So first thing, what do you do? Bring into a quadratic form. So plus 8, bring here minus 8. And it will be equals to 0. And now factorize. So if you factorize, you should get x minus 1, x plus 8. And now was obviously equals to more than 0. So you know your roots from here itself. I don't have to put the equals to 0 because you should know already, right? When you see the factorizers, you should be able to know. So you can say the roots, which is the x. One is 1 and another one is negative 8. And if you do a graph, so let's draw a graph. Quadratic curve, and it's a positive. So do like this. And then one number, negative 8 here, 1 here. Put the roots at the side, and where you have to shade, look at the sign here. Is it more than 0 or less than 0? I do told you, right? I write here again. the answer will be the same. And here is x is less than something and x is more than something. If this is the graph, then x is in between of something and something. What is the something? The roots, which is this one. That's the roots. So now it's more than 0. If more than 0, it's here, right? That means sketch at the side. And what's the answer? This pattern. What do you put here? The roots. One is -8, one minus 1. We are done. Easy peasy, right? That's why I say quadratic inequalities is the easiest. If they ask in exam, I hope you guys can do well. Now let's go to the next question. We are done already. And number 2, table method. So we are going to use table this time. So first thing, bring into the equation the quadratic form. So x square here, bring everything to this side. So positive 6 bring here become -6. Positive x become here -x, and then less than 0, correct or not? And then you have to factorize this up, correct or not? You have to factorize it. So factorize, you get x minus 3, x plus 2. And now do the table. I should make the table a bit longer. Let me do the table. Give me a moment, let me finish the table. So here will be the x values. You put the x, right, the range of x. And here will be the 3 things that you will put, the factorizing one. So let's complete it. So here will be the x is more than. So one is x is more than 3 and x is less than -2, and here will be -2 and 3. The roots, you can actually see the roots right from here. One is 3, another one is -2. You just have to shift the sign, isn't it? But right, you should be able to look when you see the factorizing thing. Also, you should be able to know what is the roots. And here what you put, the factorized thing, x minus 3, x plus 2. X minus 3 and x plus 2, combine them together. Whatever x is more than -2 can. So wait, sorry, should be less than -2. My bad. I actually forgot. Whatever x less than -2. So give me -3, negative 4. So let's just take negative 3. Okay, negative 3, you minus 3. You will get negative 6. So negative sign, put negative. And negative 3 plus 2, you get a negative number, right? So positive. Whatever is in between of negative 2 and 3. Negative and negative, you get positive. That's why I put positive. Whatever in between of negative 2 and 3 may be like 1 or 0 or 2 can. So let's just take 0. 0 minus 3 is negative 3. So it's negative. Take 0. 0 plus 2 is 2. Positive. So negative, positive, negative. So x more than 3. So if it's, maybe it can be 4, it can be 5, it can be 6. So let's just take 4. 4 minus 3, 3. And 4 minus 3 is 1, positive. And 4 plus 2, 6, positive. So positive, positive times together, you will get positive. There you go. This is the range. So x less than negative 2 and x is more than 3. Cannot be lah. The equal sign should be different because it should be the other way around. What did I do? Any mistake I did? Oh yeah, I forgot to change the sign. My bad. Guys, remember in your lower secondary, you actually got to learn something. Okay. This is the careless mistake I made. My bad. Okay. I'm sure that you learn when if your x maybe negative x plus 3 less than 0. So like this, let's just say this is the inequalities that we see. Example is your lower secondary maths. I'm explaining again. Negative x plus 3 more than 0. How are you going to solve? So you bring the positive 3 to the other side, you get negative 3. And then the negative you remove. When you remove the negative from the x, right, the sign will change to positive 3. So when you're negative, you shifting from the x to the other side, you will reverse the sign, isn't it? So let's do the same thing here. So this x square you bring here, so it becomes 0 over 6 plus x minus x square. Isn't it? This is how it looks like, right? So let me rewrite again in this way. So it's the same thing, but I'm writing in the Ballet version, negative x and the quadratic form, plus x and plus 6. And this will be less than 0. Correct or not? I didn't change anything here. I just put this entire thing over here and this the entire over here. And one more thing. Here your x is negative. Looks very ugly. We can't factorize if your x is negative. It's a bit complicated to factorize. So what you do, you remove the negative. So you remove the negative. So how you times negative 1? When you times negative 1, you actually reverse the sign. So negative times negative, positive. And positive times negative, negative x. Positives, negatives, negative 6. And here will be more than 0. You reverse the sign. It's the same concept over here. Here you see there is no negative. How you times negative 1? So negative x times negative 1, x. Negative 3 and negative 1, 3. You reverse the sign. It's the inequalities, quadratic inequalities that you learn in lower secondary. I forgot about this. Yeah, and then the factorizing is the same thing lah. X minus 3, x plus 2. No wonder why I get different. So yeah, now the range is correct. It should be more than 0. And actually, sorry, I just now got sneeze. Yeah, we're done. Table method. Sorry, my table is so sangit. Remember, your x, you times or divide the x. The sign will reverse. Okay, terbalik. And next, number 3. X squared plus 2x more than 15. First thing, bring into number line method. That's the first thing that you have to do. Number line quadratic. X squared plus 2x and positive 15 bring here become minus 15 more than 0. Then the negative that is shifting here doesn't matter. Only for the x. Only for the x. Normal numbers doesn't matter. And now factorize. So if you factorize, you get x minus 3. And you get x plus 5. More than 0. And you got your roots, right? The roots will be like this. X will be equals to 3 and negative 5. So number line method. Same thing. Do line. And then do another line. And then what you put here? The range of x. Here more, here less. And here's in between. So what you put here? The smallest number, which is negative 5. What you put here? The biggest number, which is 3. The two roots you put there. And here also the same thing. And now take a test point, any testing point. So less than negative 5, negative 6 can, negative 7 can. So take x equals to negative 7, negative 6 maybe. So you put inside negative 6 minus 3 and negative 6 plus 5 and it's more than 0. What are you getting? Negative 6 minus 3, negative 9. And negative 6 plus 5 is positive, negative 1. So negative, negative, positives, and you get 9, right? So 9 more than 0, which is correct. And you get a positive answer. And what about for this? Maybe in between of negative 5 and 3, you can take x equals to 0. I'll suggest you to use 0. 0 is common. If anything that lies in the condition, okay? So 0 minus 3 and 0 plus 5 more than 0. So minus 3 and plus 5, you get minus 15. Minus 15 is more than 0. No, and you get a negative answer. Cannot be. What about for this? Anything that's more than 3? Maybe 4. So 4 minus 3. 4 plus 5. And this is more than 0. So 4 minus 3 is 1. 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 more than 0? Yes, it's correct. And it's a positive answer. And of course, you will choose the correct. This one is wrong. How can negative number more than 0? So cannot be. So the answer should be x is less than negative 5. X is more than 3. That's the answer. Done. Easy peasy. This is number line. And now again the graph method. So I think I explained all the method already. Negative x squared plus 2x plus 8, and this time more and equals to 0. So now you got a negative. So negative are actually the best way. Actually, you remove the negative. I don't like negative. So you have to remove away the negative. It makes the equation ugly. So what do, you times negative 1. Like just now, to remove the negative, you times the negative. Because negative times negative, positive, right? So you do the thing lah. So negative x times negative 1, you will get x squared. Positive x squared. 2 times negative 1, negative 2x. 8 times negative 1, negative 8. And yeah, don't forget, I do told you, when you times the negative with the x, the sign also will be changed. It will be reversed. So more than, it become less than equals to 0. And now don't forget to factorize. So you get x minus 4, x plus 2. So your roots is this, right? One is 4, another one negative 2. And since it's a graph method, so draw a graph. And one is negative 2, one is 4. And where you want to sketch, either here or here. Look at the sign. Less than 0. Again, I repeat. Your sketching part will be the outside one. It's more. And if it's less, your sketching part will be inside. Less, so go inside. So now it is less than 0. So your sketching part will be here. And of course, what's the range? If it's inside, I told you the range goes like this. Alright, if this outside, one is more than something and one was less than something, the pattern will never change. Inequalities, that's the easiest one. So it's in between. So the sketching part is in between, right, of negative 2 and 4. So that's what you have to put here. That's the answer, the range. And don't forget, there is an equal sign here. So because of the equal sign, you should add an equal sign here. Don't forget. If there's equal, put an equal sign. No equal, don't put equal. And yeah, we are done. So that's all for today. We are done with all the questions. Hope this helped you guys in your studies for SPM. And yeah, I finished. That's all for today. If there's any question, you can just let me know in the comment box. I will reply you as fast as possible. Yeah, that's all. See you. Bye. And if you like my way of teaching, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.